Hi, it's Lacey, and I'll be doing a film review of The Big Fix and Revolution. In 2012, Josh and Rebecca Tickle released The Big Fix as an expose of the April 2010 BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. This film seeks to uncover the truth of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig explosion that leaked a mind-blowing amount of oil into the water. Oil is the key to our car culture, which, as Caroline discusses, has detrimental effects on our human health, non-human habitats, and the ecosystem as a whole. Although Caroline goes through solutions, our problem is deeply rooted in the car culture. BP is just one example of the massive amount of influence and power a corporation holds today, and their ability to hide the truth from the public to continue to bring in copious amounts of revenue. The film takes a focus on the use of dispersant Corexit, which was banned, unapproved, and then used secretly. The Tickles expose BP by traveling the coast of the Gulf and speaking with locals, from fishery owners, government workers, residents, and professors. They get them talking about what they've been seeing, whether it's dead birds watching up on beaches, oil inside the crabs and shrimp, or the ulcers they get from the Corexit, and the Corexit being sprayed across the ocean at night in secrecy. I think The Big Fix did a really good job at exposing the issue on a local level, but also going up the corporate food chain to the government. The victims of the oil spill were right there along the coast, but in a way we're all victims of this systemic corruption. Unfortunately, there isn't much glimmer of hope, but I do think that's the point. We need to be entrenched in these horrors for change to happen. Revolution is another documentary. This one highlights activism within the environmental world. Rob Stewart first made a movie about sharks, and then he realized it's not about sharks. He was asked, why should we worry about ending shark finning if all fisheries will be done in 2048? This tough moment of truth and pessimism kind of brought him to the realization that it's about us and surviving our coming animal extinctions and the holes in our ecosystem. He looks at a variety of aspects of the ecosystem, from coral reefs to tar sands, and he notes that activists come in many shapes and sizes, from sixth graders writing to their governor to climate talk officials, and even more importantly, the volunteers and attendees at those climate talks. Overall, I think the movie's message was well portrayed and showed the power of and importance of education. It was a great documentary on addressing the ecosystem as a whole and highlighting activism within it, and it does remind me that I am really believing that all changes are grassroots. They just take waiting for the confirmation from the top. And I do mean this in agreement with Caroline's change behavior before attitudes theory. It's just I think it takes a strong group to let the government know that it's time to put the change into place. But I didn't like that this movie kind of left me exactly where I'd always been, knowing that the answer's out there, but people just don't care, kind of, and it makes me feel powerful that it is based on activists like you and I, but it's a little at once in the fact that there's such a big system behind it. Overall, The Big Fix and Revolution both address a concern I think we've all felt. Things are so bad right now, and no one really cares. So what horrific event was going to have to happen for there to be change that we need? Both documentaries address the central role of corporations today, and the U.S. is becoming an oligarchy and just keeping its name of democracy. However, The Big Fix is more of an expose on a single event and just the deep-rooted corruption in that. And Revolution addresses a wider scope of issues and doesn't go as much in depth, but has a more we can stop this mentality. Both did not give next steps, but I'm coming to realize it's not that no one's giving us the next steps, it's just that we aren't accepting any of them to be worthy of our change and our time. I do think this all goes back to Jensen's discussion in the chapter titled Morality. When he was talking about the California Department of Forestry, Jensen talks about the Declaration of Independence and that it says that if the government becomes destructive of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it's the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. And we've clearly passed just being destructive of life. But still, what are we going to do? Are we going to abolish it? Probably not. So what is it suggesting we really do?